LSAC recently made an announcement about the digital LSAT. They said that they're going to use Microsoft Surface Go tablets for administering the digital LSAT, and they're going to have this big partnership with Microsoft ongoing in the future to help with the law school admission process. They have a press release on their website, which I've pulled up for you here. So I thought it might be useful for us to walk through that press release together and pull out some key points, discuss what it might mean for anyone taking the LSAT in late 2019 and beyond. So let's see, beginning, they announced this technology collaboration, very exciting. They're going to use Surface Go tablets, and here we have a picture of what the digital LSAT will look like on the Surface tablet. You can see that on the upper left, there's directions, you can see the passage only, there's all these highlighting and underlining tools. You can change the text size, you can change the contrast. They have this accessibility mode built in, including things like increasing the size of the text, magnifying, changing colors. So that all seems pretty useful. At the bottom here, you can bubble in and flag different specific questions on the LSAT. And on the top right, it's a little hard to make out, but they're saying there's a time remaining and a countdown clock. So all useful features of the digital LSAT on a tablet. Of course, the countdown clock also means that you don't need any special watch for the LSAT. There are all these people trying to capitalize on stressed out test takers, charging $40 or more for a watch that proctors may not even allow into the room on LSAT test day. So don't waste your time with any of that. Get a simple analog wristwatch for like $10. Casio has some, and you can use that for your practice aside from the countdown clock you'll have on the tablet itself, of course. Let's see what else they've got here. Broad technology collaboration, and we don't really care about that. Lots of range of initiatives. Again, that's just kind of corporate bureaucracy speak. Keeping up with technology. Yeah, LSAC definitely wants to do that. We're getting into computerized LSAT here. Big changes, of course. Some general stats on the LSAT and how prevalent it is. Lots of administrations. More than 99% of people take it, of course. Only a few are taking things like the GRE. And then there's a handful of really low-ranked law schools that might not even accept the LSAT at all or might not even require it at all. You don't want to bother with those. They're getting thousands of Surface Go tablets, and retail, those are about $550. I'm sure LSAC is paying less due to this partnership, buying them in bulk. But yeah, that's part of the reason your LSAC test fees are going to be so high going forward. Custom software, lockdown for security, that's all pretty much a given. And of course, we have another picture of an LSAT, of a digital LSAT tablet with some sample questions associated, showing you the different highlighting features, different colors, crossing off choices, eliminating things, circling, bubbling in, all of that very useful, very nice to have. You could have also done it just as easily on pencil and paper, but LSAC is trying to catch up with the times. LSAC is trying to emphasize accessibility here as well. That's very important to them in part because they've gotten sued many, many times by test takers with disabilities over not giving enough accommodations, enough special access to make the LSAT easier for them to take, given whatever limitations they might have. So LSAC is definitely big on celebrating the fact that this tablet is going to include lots of features like increasing text size for those who have difficulty with sight, or maybe read aloud features. I'm not sure if those were ever mentioned, but that would be cool. So increasing text size, being able to magnify, those are kind of the biggest accessibility features you have here. I think screen reader refers to reading things out loud for those who have special accommodations. That would be very useful as well. Of course, the kickstand means you can stand up the tablet a little bit, so you have some flexibility when you're reading the text of the exam. Again, just to summarize here, they've been working with Microsoft for quite a while now. Long term, they're going to separate the writing section from other portions of the test. That's going to be pretty cool. So you're going to have that writing sample administered on a secure online platform. What that means is that you won't necessarily be doing the digital LSAT writing sample on the day of the test itself. Instead, what you might actually do is take the writing sample at home, proctored with a video camera to make sure it's you really doing it. And of course, strictly timed to 35 minutes as well, but you won't be doing it at the end of doing 5 LSAT content sections when your brain is fried. You won't be forced to stay there for another 35 minutes. You'll be able to do it at home, probably at your leisure on your own time. Of course, strictly timed and proctored with a video camera for security, your webcam on your computer, but that'll be a nice change. There's no reason to force you to be there to do a writing sample when they don't have the same security considerations about topic and things like that. It just isn't really weighed the same. So it doesn't surprise me they'll let you do it at home. Also, you'll be able to type it on a keyboard. That's pretty nice. No one writes things by hand anymore. I know my handwriting has become terrible, and my hand gets tired from writing for 30 minutes or more because I'm just not used to it. I'm typing almost everything these days, as I imagine you are too, unless if you're in college and still taking notes by hand, which is actually a good thing to do, but that's another point. So not conducive to their best writing as an explanation for why they're doing the writing sample remotely. That makes sense. When your brain's fried, you're not going to write well. But this stuff on the writing sample, it's really not the most important thing here. I think what's much more important is seeing what the digital LSAT looks like, seeing that it's going to be on a tablet, seeing some of the features associated with it. That's what I think is really the most important part of this announcement, that it's going to be on a Microsoft Surface Go. If you can't afford it, it's probably worth getting a Microsoft Surface Go. Again, it's a little over $500 retail at the moment. But if you can't afford that, no worries. The Digital LSAT familiarization tool, which LSAC announced they're going to release in January 2019, that is going to be compatible with your desktop computer as well as pretty much any major tablet out there. So you could use your iPad, you could use a Samsung Galaxy. I'm going to link below to a cheap Samsung Galaxy alternative if you don't want to shell out for the Microsoft Go. If you don't want to buy any of this, you can just use your regular computer. I'm sure that'll be fine as well, although I think there is somewhat of a slight advantage to using a tablet since that's what you will be using on test day. And I know it's a couple $100, it's a lot of money, but that still is a drop in the bucket compared to the cost of law school. If that increased familiarity with the tablet format gets you even just one more point on the LSAT, that could translate into thousands of dollars in scholarship money or getting into a better law school. So it is well worth the investment. Anyway, I have many other videos on the Digital LSAT linked below this one. If you'd like to find out more, I have a whole playlist of them. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I love hearing from students and I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.